Oh, hey, welcome to the show. You're just in time to watch me rip into some real shit. But before we get into that, let me tell you a bit about myself. I love anime. I am a huge anime fan. I grew up like most people watching things like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon on Toonami, and I'm just as enamored with the medium as I've ever been. I'm constantly finding shows that I enjoy, and with more anime being produced now than ever before, I don't think I'll run out of good stuff to watch anytime soon. But today, we're going to be looking at something a little bit different. See, I recently got into watching a bunch of so bad it's good type movies, and I figured that it might be interesting to watch some so bad it's good anime. But oh boy, ye of delicate temperament tread lightly, because today we're watching one of the most infamous anime ever made. 2005's Mars of Destruction is often hailed as one of the worst pieces of Japanese animation to ever grace our screens. It's so bad that nobody bothered licensing it. The single OVA has never had a wide release as far as I know. It's not available on any streaming service, and it's not available on Blu-ray. Really, I'm not surprised that no one wanted to spend money shipping and selling a product they knew people hated. I'm just kind of rubbing salt into the wound right now. The only way I was able to watch it in the first place was through a fan sub of all things. Yeah, one person decided to fan sub it. Alright, I think that's enough pretext, so let's just get into it. This is Mars of Destruction. Is it the worst anime ever made? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. I know I'm giving away the ending to this video, but brace yourselves. The movie opens up and we see our first major problem. There's these ugly black bars around the edges of the screen. I really don't know why that's a thing. There's no reason I can see for the fan subbers to add it in. So I can only assume that's the way the original was. But why? I know films and TV shows have played around with different aspect ratios in the past, but I don't really think this counts as an aspect ratio. This is just taking the show and shoving it in the top of the screen. Anyways, in the distant year of 2010, we see a spaceship returning from Mars burn up on re-entry and crash. We then got the text that tells us how several months later, bizarre incidences occurred in Japan. So this thing goes for a nice stroll in the park before it gets attacked by a group of hostile anime girls.
Oh my god! What's wrong with your face?
Also, this happens. Oh yeah, rah, roar. That's what monsters sound like. Anyways, we found out that these creatures are called ancients before this happens.
No.
This beautifully animated fight scene happens, and Jesus Christ, what's happening here? Is the in-universe camera on stimulants or something? Quit shaking around. But don't worry, girlie, the backup has arrived and it's...
Takeru!
Yeah, him. Takeru gets ready to fight and... Guys, this animation is too stupid looking to present like that. So he takes on the ancients while the camera has another fit, but one of them gets him from behind. Yow, oh, ow, ouchie, jeez, that really hurts. Anyways, Takeru kills 2 of the ancients, except there was 3, so I guess the other one just got bored and left. The next thing we see is that he's on a hospital bed, while even more anime girls look down at him, some of whom give us an update as to his condition. I can only assume this entire world is run by Japanese teenagers. And that camera is at it again, doing handstands this time, I see. We find out that Takeru was forced into being part of this task force by his horrible father because he's the only one capable of bonding to that robot suit from earlier. After that, he makes a miraculous recovery, and does it seem like I'm going through this really fast? Well, part of that is because I am going through this really fast, but the other reason is because this entire OVA is only 19 minutes long. That's actually shorter than most TV anime, and it means a lot of story and world building, if you can call it that, is thrown at us rapid fire. Like the next scene we're introduced to this guy and then we're in another fight. Young lady, that's not how you pronounce that word. This is followed by what might be the two, and I mean only two, good shots in the entire anime. We see Evil McEvil obscured by the light of the fire behind him. I mean, that's kind of cool looking, and I'll give a compliment where I can. This is, however, ruined by the fact that we've already seen him unobscured just minutes ago, so what was the point of hiding him? It also doesn't help that his character design is such a cheesy action figure bad guy design. We also get this shot, and this is legitimately the best shot in the movie, so let's drink it in, people. I know it's not amazing, but what can I say? The animation is much better in this 10 seconds of footage than the entire rest of the OVA. For some reason. And when the synthetic robot costume squeezes his midsection, yeah, I believe that it hurts. I'm not quite sure if this scene is actually good or if it's just good compared to the rest of it, because afterwards we go back to this shit.
Jesus Christ! What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, don't worry, girly. RoboCop over here is gonna save the day. Okay, never mind. Why did you even hire him? In both fights we've seen, he got his ass handed to him. Also, listen to this music. Wait, I know that song. That's the Barber of Serville. Why are they using this song? Creators. Using classical music isn't making it look any less stupid. There's no reason for them to use the song anyways, since it doesn't go with what we're seeing, and due to the OVA being too cheaply made to show any real visual chaos, it's not like it adds a big point of contrast. The scene is like watching babies slap each other with Mozart in the background. That's actually kind of a running problem with this show. The music and sound design is awful. Forget the wonderful voice acting we saw a second ago. The music they use in this OVA is either public domain classical pieces, like the one we just saw before, or boring stock music you'd expect to see in a video game menu. Hell, a lot of the times there's no music at all, and it leads to extended periods of long silence. Let's go back to the first fight and see just how stupid a lot of this looks. Seriously, I could cut out any 5 seconds of footage and we'd have comedy gold. Hunter x Hunter is about as different from Mars of Destruction as two shows can be, but the former show does have a scene in it that successfully does what I think Mars was going for. In it, we see mass destruction as a chaotic fight takes place. They overscore this fight with a beautiful melody because the fight is supposed to be a tribute to the character's dead friend, a man who himself was very chaotic in nature. The music gives this scene an air of sadness and loss because it sounds like something that you'd play at a funeral. Contrast that with the acts of ultra-violence and this all seems like the world's most violent memorial service. In this, none of that subtext is there. The Rossini score is only there because A, it's free to use so it was cheaper than composing their own music, and B, playing pretty music over smashy smash makes it artsy. Also, quick question. The creators of this god-awful anime, how cool do you think this scene looked in their heads? Fuck me. So Glasses Girl attaches a laser cannon to Takuro's robot suit. Yeah, that's basically how they describe it too. Wait, go back a second. Creators of this OVA, you're not making a manga. Just putting lines on screen isn't gonna convince me that there's any energy behind these horrible drawings running.
Bitch, your weapons cannot harm me. Don't you know who the fuck I am?
So Takuro pops the big bad and we cut to this place. We see two men talking to each other. One of them is clearly supposed to be a scientist, and we find out that apparently Homo sapiens used to be inhabitants of Mars. What? But now cutting back to after the fight, I guess, we see that all of our heroes made it out alive. Except, surprise, Mr. Scary was only knocked out by the laser putting a hole through his body. He grabs Takuro and then says this. That's right. They are the Earthlings. Okay, we'll get to discussing that in just a moment. Anyways, the girls shoot down the big spiky Ninja Turtle and kill him despite the fact that their guns did nothing to him earlier. And with that, we're done. Okay, where do we begin dissecting? I suppose we should talk about the visuals, but look at it! The animation is about as smooth as Johnny Bravo is with the ladies.
Yeah, whatever.
There's really not that much I can say that isn't obvious from looking at it. The character design is pretty bad too. Everyone looks like they were made in the character creation of a bad RPG. They all have stock anime hairstyles and their faces look like shitty napkin drawings. I'm not kidding when I say this whole OVA looks like it was animated by people who've never animated before. There is no polish to any of these characters or backgrounds. It's all bottom of the barrel DeviantArt level. I mean, look at this. What the hell kind of pose were you going for? The story isn't much better either. You might have noticed this, especially if you watched the OVA yourself, but a young boy unwillingly forced to fight monsters by his asshole father because he's the only one who can pilot this peacekeeping robot is the plot of this anime, as well as the plot of Neon Genesis Evangelion. This entire OVA is very derivative of Eva, both in visual design and narrative. But that said, comparing this to its much beloved Senpai anime would be downright cruel. Even if we put aside the blatant plagiarism, the story here is just bad. I understand that 19 minutes isn't a lot of time to get a detailed story across, but even keeping that in mind, there are major issues here. Like, what the fuck do you mean these monsters are the real Earthlings? I know what they're trying to say. As opposed to a direct alien invasion story, the humans are the invasive species that the monsters are fighting back against. But if you were here the whole time, why are you only acting up now? It's implied that the spaceship from the beginning of the anime had something to do with it. But if they're not aliens, then the spaceship what? Fell on them and woke them up? When the multiple world wars happened on Earth, did you feel no need to do anything about it? The anime doesn't give us answers to any of the questions it sets up, and I'd be fine with this if it was the first episode of a TV show that got cancelled after the pilot bombed. But this was an original video animation. People were buying this on DVD under the pretext that it was a finished product. And the only time we're ever explained what's going on is when the narrator explains that AST is a task force designed to fight the Ancients, and is made up of agents taken from various police organizations. That doesn't explain why they're all adolescents, but hey, I shouldn't expect clarity at this point. The second thing we find out from the narration is that Takuro is the only one capable of using the Mars suit. Now, this would be all fine and dandy, but everything the narrator explains can kind of be inferred from things we've seen previously. Normally, I wouldn't be complaining about clarification, but we had only 19 minutes to work with, and that was time that could have been used to explore unexplained things. Like, who is Takuro's father in relation to this company, and where did they get the robot suit from? Again, if this was the first episode of a TV show, I could say, alright, it doesn't make sense now, but if I keep watching, maybe the story will become more clear. And maybe that was their goal. Maybe they plan on releasing more OVAs continuing the story and expanding the world. But this was still sold to people as a finished product, and there is just no catharsis to be found. There is no joy to be had aside from laughing at the horrible production quality. So where does that leave us? Mars of Destruction feels in concept and execution like the first attempt at an anime ever. All the aspects of production, from animation to storytelling, are rudimentary at best and mediocre at worst. I am aware that Mars of Destruction is also a visual novel, but I don't know anything about it aside from the fact that it exists. I'm not sure if its existence affected the production in some way. I'm just throwing it out there. And if anyone watching this video has further information on the subject, please let me know in the comment section. Now, if I had to say what went wrong, it'd be that the people making this OVA did not give a shit. There was basically no funding for the project, or they had like 3 days to slap everything together. I realized that this anime probably had the budget of a slightly worn sock, and the crew likely had a grand total of 3 people working on this project at any given time. But come on! There's independent animation that's better made and tighter written than this. And even if they had a bigger budget and no restrictive deadlines, I still don't think we would have had a good product in any regards. The whole kitchen reeks of chefs that were just there to do the bare minimum amount of work and then get a paycheck at the end of the week. So to answer the question that I already answered, is Mars of Destruction the worst anime ever made? It's the worst one that I've ever seen. If you found that there was a certain lack of anger in my voice when I was ripping into it, well, I can't really say Mars got me that angry. It's only 19 minutes long, so it wasn't a huge waste of time, just a small one. That also meant that there was not a lot of time for the issues to overstay their welcome. I wouldn't recommend watching it yourself, but if you do want to watch it, the anime is available to watch on YouTube. The one uploaded to YouTube was edited so that the side black bars aren't there. I don't know why that's a thing, but otherwise it's completely the same from other versions I could find. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Share this video with anyone you think will like it. I know you probably have stuff you want to do today, but please let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I did legitimately enjoy writing the script and I want to make more videos like it. Like, there's this one anime on Mal that was rated like a 1.5, and I really wanna check that out. I wanna rip into that one next. But if that's all I'm seeing from you today, well, thank you so much for watching, and good night. Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do this. Oh, hey. Well, welcome to the show. You're just in time to see me rip into some real shit. Okay, let me try it again. Oh, hey. Welcome to the show. You're just in time to watch me rip into some real shit. But before we get into that, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's try that a third time. Alright, let's just start the recording again. Now this would be all fine and dandy, but the narrator Now this would all be fine and dandy, but the narrator... Fuck, why do I keep reading that wrong? Now this would all be fine and dandy, but everything the narrator explains can kind of be inferred from things we've seen previously. Normally I wouldn't be complaining about clarification, but that was... Fuck. Why can't I read this correctly? Why am I messing up on it so much? I am aware that Mars of Destruction is also a visual novel, but I don't know anything about it aside from the fact that it exists. I'm not sure if the existence of this visual novel affects the production, or the fuck, let me read that again. I am aware that Mars of Destruction is also a visual novel, but I don't know anything about it aside from the fact that it exists. I'm not, okay, I pronounced a lot of stuff in that weird. Let's do that a third time. I am aware that Mars of Destruction is also a visual novel. Let's do that again. I am aware that Mars of Destruction is also a visual novel, but I don't know anything about it aside from the fact that it exists. So I'm... God damn it. Okay, I need to think. I have a drink of water because my tongue is slipping all around the place. I'm not sure if its existence affected the production in some way. I'm just throwing it out there if... God damn it. God, I just need to read what I wrote down. Why am I doing that so poorly? The kitchen reeks of chefs that were just... The kitchen reeks of chefs that were there to do the bare minimum amount of work and get a paycheck at the end of the week. The whole kitchen reeks of chefs that were just there to do the bare minimum amount of... The kitchen reeks of chefs that were just there to do the... Why is this line so hard for me to say?